Kristine Sa xin trân trọng kính chào quý khán thính giả của đài truyền hình SBTN và cũng rất là vui mừng xin chào đón quý vị vào chương trình Heart to Heart trong tuần này. Kính thưa quý vị, một trong những điểm may mắn nhất của Kristine khi làm được công việc này là Kristine có những cơ hội để gặp những tài năng của người Việt Nam của chúng ta ở tại Hoa Kỳ. Thưa quý vị, hiện nay Kristine đã gặp được anh tác giả của cuốn sách này. Cuốn sách mang tên I Love Yous Are For White People. Kristine xin tạm dịch lại là những lời yêu thương dành cho những người da trắng. Thưa quý vị, một anh tác giả trẻ, một anh tiến sĩ tâm lý và cũng là một người bạn. Kristine rất hân hạnh xin giới thiệu anh tác giả Sử Duy Lạc.
Yes, the book is fairly complicated, but this is the best summary I can give about the book. It's an immigrant story. It's a story about a little Vietnamese refugee boy who, at the end of the Vietnam War, had to escape Vietnam with his family and ended up in America. And of all the places Uncle Sam decided to put a refugee family into, he chose Hollywood, California.
So Uncle Sam meaning like the American government,
the
I guess.
American government, yes,
Okay.
yes. So you can just imagine the culture shock. So that's one aspect of the book that I described. The other aspect is that, my father was a really wealthy man in Vietnam, and having to leave all that behind, affected him in a great deal when he arrived here in America, as of starting anew in a new country. And to top that struggle with the fact that he became ill and was no longer able to provide for his family, took a turn in Little Lac's life. So the rest of the book, details the struggle that I had, number one, growing up in a new culture, and number two, yearning for the love from his father that was missing in his life. So it's a love story as well. My dreams as a child and my going through all the experiences that I've been through with my family as immigrants, to make it here in America, to reach the highest degree in education, it's a good feeling. Number one for me, and number two for my family, because that was my father's dream for his children. Education is somewhat free in America. It's available, let's put it that way. My father only had a second grade education, and his dream was to bring his children to America for this sole purpose, is for the education. And for all of us, all his children, to be able to accomplish that dream, I hope he's proud. He doesn't tell me that he's proud, but I hope he is.
You and I have talked, and we've talked about how there's been interest from CNN, from the program 60 Minutes, which is on CBS. Is that right? So thank God I kidnapped you today for SBTN. Yes.
The title "I Love Yous Are For White People" came straight from my father's mouth the first time I told him that I loved him. When I told him that I love him for the very first time, he stopped me on my track. He said, "Stop. What do you think I am, white? You know who you're talking to?" If you love me, you show me. You don't say those weak words, because I love yous, those 3 words, or for white people. And, you know, when he said that to me, it broke my heart. You know, it really broke my heart, because on TV, usually the son receives the affection in return from his father, but in my case, no, that wasn't the case.
When he reads the book, or perhaps he'll watch this interview, and perhaps he'll know that there's the contents in this book. You know, we're not talking about TV beautiful here. There is domestic violence.
Sexual abuse.
There's sexual abuse, which was a chapter that it terrified me. It terrified me. I can't even talk to you about it. And you lived it.
I lived it. I lived it twice. The first time, and lived it again to write this book. You know, and you know, I don't want to generalize. I want to be real clear with this. I don't want to generalize, you know, to your viewer that, you know, all Vietnamese family are like mine. No. This is just my family and my life that I'm talking about here. The feedback that I've received is that, yeah, you know, the experiences you had in your Vietnamese family, you know, is typical. But not every Vietnamese family go through what I went through in terms of domestic violence, child abuse, all the things that I talk about in my book. So I want to have that conversation with my father, because growing up, these are the things that I really wanted to talk to him about, but I couldn't. When I was sexually abused, I wanted to run to someone and talk to someone, especially my mother and father, about the things that this person is doing to me. But I had nobody, Kristine.
I thank you for writing it, because when you speak up, when you say what's happened to you, how many other silent mouths will open and say, I think that's happening to me. I'm going to talk to somebody. I thank you for writing it. I can't imagine you living through it.
It was rough.
The more I thought about this interview, the more I realized how unsatisfied I'll be, because we just don't have enough time to talk about everything I wanted to talk about. We don't, you know? And you and I can talk about it alone, but it's, you know, it's more about sharing these conversations with viewers. I especially would like to recommend the book to our English-speaking viewers. You know, the Vietnamese Americans, the Vietnamese Canadians, the Vietnamese English-speaking community, simply because I don't think I've read something as expressive and as articulate as your book about an immigrant story that is so close to my own. You know, I didn't go through the things you went through, but I got to compare and contrast with the things that I went through. The lessons you learned, I never got. but the pain you went through is different, and it's just so, I don't know. I mean, if I had like if I had a book club and I could stamp your book, that's something I would really want to do.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I want to give you just an open forum to say whatever is on your mind, perhaps